Alright, everybody, I'm back, man. Sheesh. I told you I was gonna be more consistent, so what have I been doing? It's what I've been doing. I've been posting, bro. I've been posting, and we finally made it to 100. We finally made it to 100. So you know what's gonna happen next? Since we made it to 100 now, we're gonna make it to 1,000. All right. So if you're watching this right now, click the subscribe button, click the bell notifications, click what you gotta click. You already know, and make sure to hit like. Make sure to hit like. You know, for the algorithm. I haven't figured it quite out yet, but you know what I'm saying. We're trying to figure this shit out. We're gonna blow this community up, and we're gonna do what we gotta do. You feel me? But yeah, like I said, I was gonna make this video, and here I am. I just got back home from watching Blue Beetle, so I'm gonna give you my thoughts, let you know what I thought about it, what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, all that kind of stuff. And since it's 100 subscriber special, pretty much, basically, you know what I'm saying, because we finally may hit that small. I know it's a very small milestone, but it's a milestone nonetheless. All right. So with that said, I'm gonna have my brother co-star with me today, and we're gonna give our thoughts. He's gonna tell you what he thinks about it. I'm gonna tell you what I think about it, and we're gonna go from there. All right. But yeah. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump in and let's figure out, and I'll let y'all know what I think. All right. All right, everybody. So let me introduce you to my brother. All right. This is gonna be no name for right now, all right? But this is my brother, all right? This is the little G, all right? This is the little G, all right, bro. Say what's up to YouTube.
What's up, y'all? I want to say again, congratulations on reaching 100. You don't realize how hard it is just to get there, but
we're gonna do it. We're gonna build this community. I'm telling you.
Yeah, we're gonna get there, but like I said, it's one video at a time, and we're gonna do it, and I'm gonna make sure he gets there.
All right, yeah. So like I said, we just got back from watching Blue Beetle, bro. You just saw it. You said you loved it. I had a great time watching it. What you think about it, bro? What's your first thoughts of it? Like, what's your consensus right now?
So, in my personal opinion, I really thought that they did a really good job about keeping it. The action was really good. I still wouldn't say that it tops the CGI on the Flash because the Flash was really good. The CGI on the Flash was really, really good.
Yeah, it was. I agree.
But
there was some bad CGI on the Flash, though. I will say.
Yeah.
But the CGI on this movie is definitely better than the Flash, for sure, for sure.
So, one thing I will say is one thing I really like that they stuck to is the culture, because they're coming from a Hispanic home and low income, and they're struggling to make payments and stuff like that. And it's a really good way they introduced the culture, and they stuck with it. I really enjoyed that, and I love the way that they introduced him coming back from college, and actually him showing how sometimes having a diploma doesn't always give you what you need to get a job.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I will say, I will add on to that a little bit more. So I've mentioned this on multiple videos before when it comes to representation. You know, like when it comes to Asian culture, Mexican culture, or whatever type of representation it is, woman empowerment. You know what I'm saying? I'm all for it, and I'm always, you know, open to what they like are trying to convey in the story, for sure, for sure. And I would say with this movie, there's a lot of Hispanic representation, there's a lot of Mexican representation when it comes to the music, the culture, you know, like callbacks to shows from way back when that only Mexicans would know, music, Chalino Sanchez, you know, that's the type of music that only Hispanics would relate to.
Because yeah, right? I could even say he heard me so many times, like not lying to you guys, he heard me so many times where I said, oh shit, you remember that shit? You remember that song?
Yeah, and that's the thing, like I said, it has a lot of calls to culture. But my issue with this, and I've said this multiple times, I feel like before, but I feel like I have to emphasize it more in this movie. My issue is that they go for the culture representation, but they don't commit. And what I mean by when I say that they don't commit is that when you're in the family home, right, with the Hispanics, with the culture, not just Hispanics. I'm saying this in the broader scale, like if it was Asians, if it was, you know, Mexicans, if it was whatever they were, you know what I'm saying, Germans, yeah, whatever. If you're in the family home of those people, there's no reason why they should be speaking English. You know what I'm saying? And I said the same thing when I was talking about the Black Widow movie, because in the Black Widow movie, when they go, remember when Black Widow and, you know, Hopper, they go back to go get the mom, right? And she's like talking to the pigs in English, and but she has a strong ass Russian accent. Why would you, you know, in your own home by yourself, be talking in English, you know, when you have this strong Russian accent? She should be talking to them in Russian. Could you agree on that?
Yeah.
So, and that's my point. That in this movie, there's a lot of points in this movie where the mother will be like talking English to the grandmother, or the grandmother will talk English for a little bit. But my point is, within the household, there's no reason why anybody should be speaking English. Even if the mom is talking to the son or the daughter, when the parents are all there, when the whole family's there, they should all be speaking Spanish. Like, I'm all for the representation. If you're gonna represent, go all the way, fully commit, and I'm gonna love it. You know what I'm saying? But don't half-ass commit, because if you only go halfway, then I'm gonna feel like you're only doing it just to please me. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you're not doing it to be legitimate, because if you're legitimate, they would all be speaking Spanish. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I have against the movie. But I will say in the beginning there are some parts where there's questionable acting. I don't want to say terrible acting. This isn't Terrifier 2. This isn't Scary Movie. But there are some questionable scenes where there's questionable acting. Like in the beginning, you guys will know what I'm talking about. If you're a film buff, you will know what I'm talking about. There's a scene where they're in having breakfast in the dinner, by an ocean, and both things shoot at the same time. For some reason they're talking English to each other when they all speak Spanish for whatever reason, and the grandmother's there, and there's some bad acting. But once you get past that point, I think the movie just takes off. The movie takes off and it goes on a better direction. But yeah, with that said, what do you think of the suit, bro?
His suit, I one thing I really loved about the suit, and I said it to him several times, is they got the suit from the game Injustice 2.
Yeah, and I was like, Blue Beetle was my main on Injustice 2. He'll tell you, like, 100%.
That's all he ever.
Blue Beetle was my main on Injustice 2 for a long time. I maxed him out, got all his stuff. So the suit, I loved it. The suit was one of the greatest parts of the movie, for sure.
Another thing that I thought was really crazy too was when I felt like when he first put on the suit, the transition they did from him getting into the suit and then him getting launched straight up, which is in the trailer. I feel like that was one of my favorite scenes in the movie so far too.
And also like the power ups were all pretty badass too. How he like creates the swords. He has like the arm boot blasters or whatever. I will say that, like I said, I'm a person who used Blue Beetle as the main character in Injustice 2, and I used to play like tournaments and stuff, so I was like heavy into that game. There are some power ups that I wish they would have done. Like, I don't know if you remember, there's one power up where like he'll get the swords, he'll like fly up and like twist them and like slam them down.
Oh yeah.
I wish he would have done something like that, because he never really used his powers like too crazy. You know what I'm saying? Everything was really like blaster-esque. And getting to the part that it was very blaster-esque, I gotta say, what do you think of the final battle, bro?
Oh yeah, I do think the final battle was really good. It was kind of fast. I will say that it did go by really fast, but I will say that I love the fact that he was able to harness his anger and use that to make him stronger, and they really involved a lot about how family is really important, and I really love how they harnessed that. But again, like what you said, I feel like if they were gonna go in that direction, they should have really pushed for it.
100%, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I have no problem with the representation and the family and all that, but it's like, bro, go all the way, like fully commit. You know what I'm saying? They obviously went all out of the way to make sure that most of the cast was, Hispanic, Latino, and all this stuff to obviously represent. You know what I'm saying?
And I told him, George Lopez stood out more than anyone. I think he fit his role perfectly.
100%. I think George Lopez stole the movie. George Lopez is the best part of the movie. Let me tell you that right now. George Lopez is the best part of this movie. If you're gonna go see the movie, he's gonna steal every scene. And this is one thing I have to mention as well. And I don't want to get in a rant, but I will say, I don't want to say the worst part of the movie, but I'll say the standout for me was the father. The father was, I don't want to say he was a terrible actor, but he was really not good. When he spoke English, you could tell it wasn't his first language, but even when he spoke Spanish, he would like speak very low, and like it looked like he couldn't get what I don't know. For me, he just didn't work. I really wish that the father would have been like Antonio Banderas, or the father would have been like Eugenio Derbez, from Instructions Not Included, like heavy hitter actors. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing was, like you said, George Lopez was the best part of the movie, 100%. He was not the best part of the movie, but for sure one of the standouts. You know what I'm saying? For sure one of the standouts of this movie.
Because I still think Xolo did a really good job in his position too.
Yeah, Xolo was really good.
He was a really good actor.
Or as I know him, that's Cobra Kai. All right, that's not Xolo. That's not Blue Beetle. That's Cobra Kai. All right,
that's Miguel. That's Miguel.
Yeah, that's Miguel. That's Cobra Kai. Number one. Let's get that straight.
It is kind of hard to see him in any other role because we're so used to seeing him as Miguel that in any other role it's kind of hard to see him like that. But
and this is one point that I was making to him too. That I was saying, I was like, dude. In Cobra, I feel like he was not much better. It was just the beginning of the movie that I feel like he had like really, I don't want to say really bad acting, but questionable acting. In Cobra Kai, he was good all the time. Cobra Kai, he was always good. Like I said, maybe he was just getting into the role. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But anyways, the point that I was making was, George Lopez is one of the best standouts in the movie, and I feel like if the father of the father of Cobra Kai would have been Antonio Banderas, Eugenio Derbez, another heavy hitter actor, I feel like him bouncing off of George Lopez, who's another heavy hitter actor, it would have played so well. I feel like they would have, a lot of the parts with the dad would have hit hard, and it goes back to the same point of there's this scene in the movie. You guys will know what I'm talking about when you get to it. There's this part where Zolo dies, and he goes into the afterlife. Spoiler alert, all right? But you guys know I'm just telling you like we just came out of the movie. You feel me?
Yeah, we literally just came out.
But yeah. So Zolo goes into the afterlife, and he's talking to his father, who, spoiler alert, passes away. So he's talking to him in the afterlife or whatever, and for whatever reason, so the dad clearly was not born in the U.S. The dad clearly came over here.
Yeah.
We could agree on that, right?
Yeah.
So when that person dies, you would think that the person that dies will speak their very language. You know what I'm saying? Their native language. So if I see my dad in the afterlife, why would he start speaking to me in English? Well, and the part that hit it so hard for me too was that not only does the dad speak to him in English in the afterlife, that Zolo is the one that has to talk to him Spanish first.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He wasn't even. Yeah, he had to be the one that initiated it.
Yeah. Why would the son initiate talking Spanish first? And this is what I mean by when I say that they don't commit. You know what I'm saying? As soon as he saw the dad should have talked Spanish the entire time. The entire time. And for sure, Zolo would have responded in Spanish. I'm saying all the family scenes should have all been in Spanish. That's the only thing that for me is just. I'm not saying that it didn't work, but it stood out to me. That I'm like, dude, if you're gonna do it, commit all the way. You feel me?
Jenny, in the movie, one thing I really stood out.
By the way, Jenny's a bad shorty. All right, I don't know what the actress' names. I will find out, but she's a bad shorty. Go ahead.
And let me tell you. So I think one thing that really stood out to me was when there's a scene where they're inside of a bedroom. He had just got out of the suit, and she gave him some robes to wear. And in that particular scene, they're both sitting on the bed just talking, and she started crying, talking about how she really respects how he really knows about family and how he really understands that.
Yeah.
And how he said that he like, oh, you would understand about that too. And she said something like, she said, no, I wouldn't. She said, I don't really know what that's like. You should be really happy. You have a family that's there for you. And she's like, I didn't really have that. I was all alone growing up. And like I told him, I said that was something that it connects with a lot of us. With a lot 100%. Of us, we really understand that. And it's like, there were certain scenes in the movie where they really nailed it.
The message that they were trying to put.
Yeah, the message they're trying to put out. Get to the Latino community. They're really trying to get to us. And I feel like in that specific scene, they portrayed it perfectly. But it goes back to the same thing he was saying. If they were going for that goal in the movie, they should have pushed for it 100%.
100%. And yeah, I would say that's in that scene when he's like talking to Zolo, when Jen is talking to Zolo, when they're having that conversation on the bed or whatever. You guys know what it is when you guys get there. Something hilarious happens. I'm not gonna spoil it, but Uncle comes in and then something happens and then it's just hilarious. And there are a lot of funny scenes in the movie. There's a lot of funny scenes in the movie, and I will also say
that was another scene also that we didn't really think it was that funny. We kind of thought it was stupid that they really tried to sneak it in.
There's like a fart joke in this movie, like literal fart joke, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, bro, y'all really did a fart joke in a DC movie in 2023? You feel me? And I was just like, bro, like really? But yeah, with that said, overall, I had a fun time watching it. I will say this is not a movie that I'm probably gonna run out to go see again. If I get the chance to see it again, I'll probably will. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely not better than Gran Turismo.
Yeah, we both agreed on that.
Yeah.
We still think Gran Turismo is one of the best movies of the year.
Of the year so far, so good. Is it better than The Flash? I don't know. I don't want to say for sure that it's better than The Flash.
I think they're really close to each other.
They're really good. I mean, I guess you could say that's not saying much because The Flash wasn't like the greatest movie ever either. You know, the only thing that stood out to me was I think the dad was, I don't want to say god awful, but the dad was not the. I think he was just miscast. Let's just say like that. I think the dad was miscast. I think they could have put a really powerful actor in there and made it hit a lot harder. I thought the way that his head was like linked with the scarab and it kind of became like a Iron Man, Siri type shit.
And like I said to him, I don't really know if he had heard me when I said it, but I said what I really thought this reminded me of so much was Venom.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, especially like with the whole symbiotic relationship and how it was like syncing with him. He could like hear each other. And there's a lot of gags too with the whole scarab situation. How like how like when the suit goes away and he's like naked and stuff that. Yeah, so there's a lot of funny parts with that. The CGI,
when he puts the suit on, it's really good.
The CGI is top notch, it's badass. Some of the great greatest. I don't want to say greatest, but some of the best CGI in DC for sure.
Yeah.
I will say this. Another thing stood out to me. Something heavy happens in the movie, and when that thing heavy thing happens, there's a scene where like the camera it keeps cutting back and forth from like the police sirens and then to a person, and it keeps going back to police sirens to another person. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That part, I was like, what are you doing? I guess they were trying to emphasize the power of what happened, but I didn't like how it kept cutting from the person to the siren to the lights and then to the person again, and she was just like sitting there not moving the entire time and just kept going back and forth. I was like, I would rather have like a, you know, the camera panned on her and it like closed up onto her face, or just like have it still.
And then again, this major spoiler. I'm not really gonna get into it because then it'll kind of defeat the whole purpose of going to watch the movie. But
Yeah.
at the end of the movie, the main antagonist, I love how it told his story.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's true.
That was really
That's
good.
true.
It explained his story and how he got there. So it explains why he's so angry.
The villain pretty much became Titanfall. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna lie.
that
He was
is
pretty much Titanfall. But yeah, go ahead.
And one thing I do think they didn't really explain well, but I kind of picked it up when I was watching. From what I understood, I don't know if you picked this up, but they said he lost his memories. That they wiped his memories. That's at least what I remember.
Yeah,
Because
that's
as soon as the fight's over, he says something like to one of the main antagonists too. He said something like, he said, "I remember everything now," and now he was all pissed.
Yeah,
and
when he
everything.
picked up the thing and
Yeah.
he was like, "Oh, now I remember." Yeah, that's true. And one thing I do have to say also, my boy Zolo, Cobra Kai, bro got no riz. He's got no riz. Like usually people are like the Rizzler. You feel me? You know what a Rizzler is? You know what I'm talking about? Bro had no riz, bro.
And like I told him, one of my favorite lines was at the end of the movie, and he wasn't even the one that said it. She had said it to him.
Mm-hmm.
And that shit was so funny. But I just felt like this movie had a lot of really good. It connected with a lot of us.
It had good comedy. Like I said, it had the representation in there. I wish the representation would have just gone all the way. The plot, as far as plots go, I mean, I don't want to say it's the greatest plot, but
was
it's
decent.
It's decent. It's a good plot. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, they have this, you know, this thing that we'll call the MacGuffin. The MacGuffin in the movie. They find it. Someone, obviously, the protagonist gets his hands on it by certain means, whatever. Now the antagonist is trying to get that from them to siphon the power, whatever, because he managed to awaken it or whatever. She's siphoning the power to build an army or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then he has to stop that. And another thing that I pointed out to him also multiple times, it's really not clear when this movie takes place.
Oh yeah, they did not make that clear whatsoever.
It is not clear at all when this movie takes place.
Because they do know the Flash, they know Batman, they know who else did they say? They said they knew Flash, Batman, and somebody else.
We get references to Bruce Wayne, we get references to Superman and the Flash. So we get references to all the superheroes.
So they know who everybody is.
Right, yeah, we know who everybody is. So I guess we are meant to believe that it's in present day. But the way that the
technology is way
the
too
technology is so advanced and the cities are so advanced.
And one thing I pointed out to him, this was supposed to be taking place in a southern state. I don't want to say that it's Mexico because I'm not 100% sure. I don't really remember. But it's supposed to be a southern
wherever
state.
it is, even if it's in the US,
but they made it clear it's not in the US. They made it clear.
Gotcha. So wherever it is, you know, obviously there's Metropolis, there's all these other Gotham because this takes place in the universe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But wherever it takes place, it is extremely advanced. And maybe you guys can let me know down in the comments. Maybe in the movie his city is really advanced. I don't know. But if we're meant to believe just by what we know in the DCEU, this city is way so advanced.
And
the thing is that they could be the Flash and all the superheroes could be around. It could just be the future.
But then again, it could be one of those things too where I don't know if you remember in the Flash when he was sitting there with Bruce Wayne, they were having that talk where he was talking about he wanted to go back in time. The city that the Flash was into, it was kind of really advanced. And the thing is with the DCEU, it could be a thing too where, because in reality, it could be a different universe than what we know. So it couldn't be United States. It couldn't be Mexico.
Could be multiverse. So Blue Beetle could, because he was telling me that the Zolos might come back.
Yeah. So that's another thing. I kind of explained to him. I was watching a lot of interviews with Jolo, and they had got into an interview with one of the writers. I forgot what's his name. One of the main writers of DCEU. And he said something about that a lot of the actors were gonna be gone, but he did want to keep a few.
Right.
And I told him the main names that stuck out were Gal Gadot, which is Wonder Woman, Shazam. I always forget the actor's name, and then obviously Jolo. He made it clear that he wanted to keep those three and keep them going in the DCEU.
So it could be a thing where it's like maybe Zolo is part of the multiverse and he's part of another universe, and that could explain why the cities are so.
And like I explained to him, I said I think the way they try to phase the Flash out, which is what they did, is they made him. So they made it seem like he messed up time, so he got lost.
He could just be stuck in another universe, and then he could come back potentially. The Flash should come back. You know what I'm saying? He could be just in another universe. But yeah, that could answer why this city looks so advanced. Like I said, the movie doesn't ever make it clear when this is, because when in the Flash it says present day.
Oh yeah, it made it completely clear. Yeah.
Here it doesn't tell you. The movie just goes. You know what I'm saying? With that said, like I said, even still with that, it's a really fun movie. I had hell of a time watching it.
It was really good.
Yeah, the CGI was great. The acting was pretty good. Questionable at times. Like I said, George Lopez stole this movie.
Yeah,
George Lopez stole this movie. It's his movie.
Yeah, he did really good acting, and I feel like he was one that really he was really funny. He really put together the whole Hispanic culture. He put it together more than anybody else.
100%.
He was the one that was making the jokes, and obviously he's a comedian, so. But
the grandma was pretty funny too. Yeah. Sometimes the grandma was really funny too. I don't want to go ahead into the rest of the movie. Like I said, I think we both agree that it's not better than Gran Turismo.
Yeah,
I can't wait for that movie to come out again so I could go watch it again. You know what I'm saying? If you guys haven't seen my Gran Turismo, I know you guys haven't seen it yet. Watch that video and then go watch that movie because you're gonna love that movie.
Yeah, and that's the one thing we could completely agree on. And like I said, there's still a couple more movies coming out this year. We're really looking forward to. As I said, my personal one that he knows I'm really looking forward to is a FNAF movie coming out soon.
Oh yeah, 100%. We're gonna watch that, and y'all gonna get that.
And I just got him caught up on the lore, so he should be. He actually really liked it.
Yeah, it was the whole thing about FNAF that I had no idea was so deep. But I guess that's how you learn. But it was really intriguing. But we're gonna learn about that.
Yeah, like I said, so that's our personal opinion on the movie. Let us know what you guys think. If you guys want to see more of me around here, let me know. But
yeah, let me know if y'all like my boy. All right, this is top G right here. All right, this is top G. So we'll bring them back, you know what I'm saying? Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what you guys thought about this whole dynamic and how this worked out. Let me know what you guys think about this movie. Go watch this movie. Like I said, I don't think it's the greatest movie. I'm not going to run out to go see it again. But definitely give it a watch. It's definitely worth a watch.
Like I will say, if you are part of the Hispanic community, I will say that you guys really will love this movie.
Yeah, if you're Hispanic, you're going to love this movie. For sure, for sure. But yeah, with that said, that's gonna be us. That's gonna be wrap it up. Make sure let me know what you guys think about it. And we're getting to 1,000 subscribers. All right, we're gonna get there. All right, who's gonna be number one in the 100? Who's gonna be number one in the 100? All right, make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll see you when I see you guys. All right, it's been Jordan, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. All right, deuce.